Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 2 of Conversations in Creating Your Super Life. And I am so excited for this week, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you that are watching and that will be watching in the future. And I am so happy about this creation. You know how little kids play, and this has truly been like that. It's just like so non-linear, and I just had a guest and I had a platform and I didn't even have a graphic, and I just put it out there, and I've just been playing with it ever since, and it's been such a contribution to my life. And I know this is only episode number 2, but just because I work for my own business, so I sit in front of a computer by myself a lot, and in so doing, just talking to my guests and booking them and talking to what's up in their world have contributed hugely to my life. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful that you're watching. And I wonder what's possible tonight. And today has been such a hot day here in Bali. Normally it's not too hot, but today it's been a little too hot even for me. It's starting to cool down now, so that is great. And tonight I have a really special guest that is highly creative, and we've known each other a couple of years back. And before I introduce him, I would like to share with you an awareness I had about that, because he's, highly creative. He's a dancer, he's a performer, he's a coach, he's an artist, and he is so many things that we're going to dive deeper into. And putting him on the show brought me to the awareness that I have actually a lot of highly creative people around me, just as, both as friends, and I've dated like a comedian, I've dated musicians, I've dated artists. And I remember a conversation I had with a friend a couple of years back, when I thought that being creative was just about, writing, playing an instrument, singing, writing. And she asked me, she was like, well, what if creativity is so much more than that? And what are the ways you are creative? And then I realized that I am creative too, even though I don't sing. I write posts, I promote, I create classes, I play with graphics, I do all sorts of things that is actually really creative. And another thing with that is, when people are in that energy of generative energy, they're using their talents and abilities and capacities, that is super attractive to me. And I love that energy, and I love being in that energy. And for me, that is a part of having your super life. And that is also the energy of life force. And that is also the energy you have when you're having sex. So no wonder I'm attractive to people that are in their creative capacities. And like I said, me and Thomas, we go a couple of years back, and we met at a class that I organized, and we just hit it off right away, and we started talking and talking and talking. And then after a while we started creating together, and we had so much fun, and it was pretty intense for a while. And then Thomas was going to go to the States, and so he left for the States, and then he moved back to Norway. So we didn't see each other for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden he came to Stockholm to do like this big amazing Christmas show, which I got rehearsal tickets to. That was really amazing, and boy does Thomas know how to pull energy, and I hope we're going to get into that more too during the show. And we didn't have a chance to talk at the time because he was busy doing the show, and I just left straight after. But then after that show, he came back to Stockholm, and we actually had time for like a 2-hour hangout or something and catch up a little bit. And so me creating this show, he popped up again when I was looking through my messages, and it was just so light and expansive that he was going to be with me here today. And so Thomas, hey, welcome to the show, you amazing being. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. It has been really cool to get to know you over the years, and I'm so excited to be here today. And also, when you asked me if I would like to join, first I felt immediately yes, and then of course a lot of things came up that it was really great for me to be aware of. that I had going on and leftovers or whatever stuff. And then also you started to talk about the contribution that it already started to be, that it was pouring through both of us. And I had the exact same experience, that was like so much opening up that I was like, oh, and just acknowledging that, sometimes it's not about how things will look or what they look like, but when you start to acknowledge and perceive the contribution that things actually are, that's for me the magic, the super life. That's the gratitude. That's like, wow, that's where you don't need anything, but everything is possible. But it's that life force too that you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about you, that you have this wonder sense of play. And when we were playing, it was like two kids playing, and that is really a cool factor when you create. So you want to tell us a little bit about, like, I don't know, what you're creating, or what your creation process looks like, or what you're doing right now, or whatever pops.
I work mostly with dance right now. I work with dancers, young and adults, like everything from between 15 and 34 in a dance school. And it's such a great place that was presented for me to actually work full-time in. And then I ended up only working one day, because I don't like to lock myself up in a fixed job every day, like 9 to 5. So then I was presented, with the opportunity to actually work 1 day a week with these beautiful kids. And that has opened up so much creativity for me to express through my body. Because as you say, yes, I am highly creative in so many ways. But for me, it's important to use my body in a way that, it's so many ways, but especially dance, since that has been with me so many years. It comes naturally for me to use my body. And when I can just be me in an open place like that, and just it's so soft, and it's so gentle, and it's so nourishing, and it's like, so now it's a lot of dance and choreography, and also baton twirling. At the moment I work with amateurs there, but it's so I don't work with baton twirlers. I work with the people. I meet the people. I see their greatness, and just by being with them, it starts to pour through them. And it's such a beautiful gift to see how people transform when you just be space with them. You allow them to pop out of their shells without any expectations or even the need for them to be different. But it's like that, just playing, that's creation, that's playfulness.
And space. I was just acknowledging that today, like how much you can create from space, and not the doing, but instead the being that you're being. And that's what I saw in you, because Thomas was in, like I said, a really big Christmas show. It was a Christmas show, right? With one with one of Sweden's like biggest stars. And when you were in the same like scene as her, like all I could look at was you. I don't know if it was because I knew you, but I don't know, that's not what it was. But like, you have this amazing, I couldn't take my eyes off of you. Do you want to, do you have anything else to add to that, except that you're being space and you're playing and you're...
I don't really think about, or when I go on stage, just starts to flood naturally. Like both expansively, like outwardly, I just know there's so much running through, my whole body, and I get so expansive. But at the same time, I unconsciously and consciously at the same time being aware of the space that I'm in and the people that are watching me. And it's actually a beautiful, you would say, like a pattern also from when I grew up, when I made myself whatever likable. So it's like both I have judged myself for having that ability, as well as and fully enjoying it. So it's I don't think about it when I'm on stage, but I enjoy being there, expansive, and see how far I can go out. But at the same time, I'm like sensing everyone and everything. And that's totally part of that ability. I'd be present, but also it was that talent and ability for me as a kid to know where everyone was. as a, to feel safe. So I need, so it's both like a gift and as a protection thing as well. When I grew up, to know and sense my environment. And I've learned that, wow, what if I, can just relax in that space always? Because sometimes I tended to contract, because beliefs of not being safe. But now I understand that it's such a great thing just to relax and be that space all the time. Because what happens is that, when you be space, you invite other people. You start to receive other people too, without any expectations, without even the need to pull them in. But they just open up too, and they arrive. It's like they arrive in a way, or they show up, but they be more of them. Even if they at times play out more of their things going on, they start to act out, because that comes first. And then when there is no fight back, they start to soften and open and soften and open. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, what a gift you're being in the world. And we had we talked a little bit before we started about, because I asked you, are you going to be in Norway? Are you going to move? Or where are you going? And you started talking about like how you are choosing to be present where you are instead of just trying, always being on the move to somewhere else. Do you want to talk more about that? It's a really vital piece to have your super life. Yeah.
And it has to do with what I just said too, about that belief or whatever of unsafety, that I always consider myself as a person that is, I feel comfortable everywhere I am, I feel at home everywhere, but I have always been on the move, on the run, so it's like we learn that we need to define ourselves and put like, okay, I'm this, and then we make it into something that is not really true. And for me, I discovered that I perhaps haven't been completely comfortable everywhere I've been, because I've always been on the move. So, and that's, when things get too close and too really intimate, like really open, to really be me all the way, vulnerability together with others, that has been challenging for me. And now I realize that, wow, I don't need to know where I should go. I don't even need to find that place I would like to go to create a better life, or to create an even more super life. What if I just relax here? What if I sign that contract and just say, okay, I will stay in this apartment for maybe a year. I signed a contract for a year, but I could always cancel whenever it presents. But just to to let myself relax. I haven't been relaxed truly fully. Only when I know I'm there temporary. I seem very relaxing and loving, all of that. But I know I'm leaving, so I don't need to face everything I was avoiding. And now I understand that, hey, I'm here. I can relax here, and I start to appreciate more in life, and I start to appreciate relationships and people, and like this painting behind me that I painted, and stuff like that just happens as not from trying or having to create anything. So that the willingness to stay too.
Exactly.
The willingness to let, what if life never changed, no matter how hard I tried or didn't try, that too, the willingness to be with everything we try to escape and avoid many times.
Exactly.
Not always.
You're so onto something there, that sometimes we use that we're going to leave as a reason, justification not to create at all. And now I'm just going to go and move somewhere else. And in Access we talk about back doors, and I had a back door that was leaving on a dime, which is that I always had a door open, but I can always quit, or I can always get out in one day, or and my other one was moving to another country. And what is funny about that is when I actually closed them and I was willing to be present in my own life and I was willing to create in Sweden, then I could move to another country with total ease. Because I wasn't fighting for or against something, I wasn't resisting anything, and I wasn't avoiding, like you were talking about. It was just a choice, you know. So I know what you're talking about, and that is such a vital piece to create in your super life, to be present and be aware of what's going on, and like you were talking about, the willingness to look at things that are coming up. Because if you're always moving, then you don't really have to look at everything. But that was a really cool piece. So thank you for that. And I love your painting that you did.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So I just get to see that, and that's such a beautiful gift too. It's not that we need to, you know, whatever, dive down and try to find things to clear out, or to, now I'm going to create whatever, blah, blah, blah. But to let things come up when they come up and just relax with it. And you have this, I listened to your creation journey, and that was amazing. And that's aligned with what I, you know, talk a lot about nowadays when I connect with people, even when it comes to technical stuff, to perform things with dancers or baton twirlers, which is high, you know, a lot of technique and mental. But what if we could just relax with everything, and, you know, relax into expansion, relax into letting things fall into place. But it's so not what society works from.
No.
It's so not what we have been taught, because everything has to be mental. Even that you need to think a lot and use your brain every day, otherwise you end up with dementia or something like that, you know. So
like, figure things out and work hard.
So and that too is like the gift of relaxation. And relaxations doesn't necessarily mean I sit or I stay inside the rest of my life or the rest of the week to do nothing. But it starts there at many times to you know, to actually allow and let relaxation happen without doing anything, without even taking a walk. Like sometimes when things comes up, it's like, oh, it would be great with a walk now to let this circulate. But what if we didn't even have to move or breathe or use a tool when things comes up, you know? And just, can I relax with it? Yeah, but I feel so tensed and it's all these things coming up. What if I could relax into that too? Relax my head, relax my body with the pain, whatever is coming up. It's such a gift, because it creates, it offers a new awareness of how things flows.
For sure.
Without running away or trying to change it or let it, you know. That's the creative flow too. That's where more of us flows through.
For sure. And that's what you say, you're relaxing into your energy, you're relaxing into your consciousness and your space and everything that is you. And that is what the creation journey is all about. And thank you for mentioning that. That is so true. There was another piece there. Yeah, like creation can be so many things. Like maybe it's not sitting in front of your computer all the time. Like when I first got the awareness to do creation journey private session, I was taking a nap. My body wasn't doing well, so I was taking a nap in the middle of the day, which I normally never do. And in that space of being half asleep, half awake, I was like, bam, oh shit, I'm going to do this, you know? And so for me, everything is creation, like that, like relaxation, like taking a walk, like taking a break, connecting with the nature, and giving yourself the space to allow the awareness to come to you and the ideas. And because if you're not creating space in your life, you're not going to be aware of when everything you've been asking for is coming to you, because you got to have space for it, and you got to nurture you and nurture your ideas, nurture your body, right?
Yeah, and you know, that's because when the universe works through us, or our being, our, you know, whatever, our consciousness, our whatever we would like to call it, but when that kind of works through, it's so not mental that it's not. Sometimes it comes by when we do things, but most of the times that's not where things happen. And sometimes it's actually that knowing, that awareness that let's take the rest of the day off so I can go out, and boom, there they placed you, you know, with a person that kind of had whatever, all the information, all the connections, or the platform for this, or whatever you have been asking for or trying to put together, and they have a place where everything is set up already. They're just waiting for you to show up.
Yeah.
And we're so just trying to fix everything, you know, by our own at home or whatever, or with the same kind of people. And then it's like, no, my awareness is telling me to, you know, just, but it's so not mental. It doesn't make sense. It will never make sense, but it will put things together, and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
And
it's so not linear, like you were saying, at all. And lately we've been talking a lot about chaos and order in Access that you can create from the chaotic possibilities. And I've been asking to install chaos in my creations and in a lot of things, my body, money flows and stuff like that. And I've never been really linear in my way of creating, but now it's like, bam, on steroids. Now it's like, I don't know who I am, and there is so much change, and everything is like, so it's really cool. So maybe that's a cool question for you to play with, like, oh, what would it be like to instill some chaos in my creation or in my work or in my money? And
yeah, there is chaos in my money right now, or there is chaos with, you know, like deals around. I have a company that set up my business, like the registration and everything.
Yeah.
So it's registered in England, and then I have my company here. So it's like a different kind of arrangement. But I have a company, and they also offered me an accountant. And now it seems like everything is chaos, and everyone backs out, and I'm standing there, and it's like, I got this, you know, I paid for a job that people will do for me to, you know, fix the accounting and then the taxes and just report everything.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been done. And now I have this 14,000 fee because it's not done. And, you know, there is like a little heaviness in my belly around it. At the same time, I'm like, yeah, let's be with it. I don't have to pay those money today. I don't need to find a solution today, but it's a little chaotic, and everyone is backing off and said, okay, you just paid us to do this, and you should connect with them. They did, you know, all of those things that I'm like, I try to grasp on it. I try to be the middle person that kind of makes everything correct. And I was like, oh, what if I just be here and let the awareness come? You know, what can is there anything that I should do today? No. Okay, cool. But yesterday there was, you know, I called some people, and then it kind of takes on a life on its own. And I don't know if I closed down that business. No, but I wanted to. I was like, oh, it's a sign, I have to close it down. But you know, so I don't know what will come out of this, but it doesn't really matter right now, because other things are starting to flow, and I don't really know and where things will lead. And also, like, talk about celebration and chaos, and you know, everything is kind of mixed. But when we don't know, and when we feel insecure, and when we feel chaotic, that's where we kind of bypass or the universe bypass our mental understanding of things. So that's where also things can actually fall into place, because it feels like I cannot hold on to it as like we try to do. So things will kind of start to work out in a different way sometimes. Yeah, I have this video release, or it's not my video, but I am in a big part of the video, a music video that releases today.
Yay! Celebration time!
So, in the middle of this, you know, all these great things, the chaotic part happens too. And also, who am I? I don't know who I am.
Right. Yeah, what else is possible? And I love how you are just asking questions about it, and you're trusting you, and you're taking action when you're required to, and you're not taking, because that just saves you so much energy, and like, you know, it saves you banging your head against the wall, and you're just willing to be present with what's going on. And I wonder what else is possible, and what would it take for it to work out even greater than you ever can imagine.
Yeah, and how much fun and ease and space can I be
Yeah.
while I play with the authorities, like the government, because, being on this starting your own business course just for the information, like last year, and you have to pay everything, you have to do this and on time, otherwise, they're so like direct and cruel, and they instill you with fear. And I'm there now.
Maybe you can
Well,
instill them with some chaos instead.
cool. Yeah, like, and how much fun can I have while letting things be played out as they play out, because my mental level is not really in charge here.
Right.
And lately too, that's another thing that I've been thinking about. When we ask for change or something more to show up in our life, you bet things start to change and be chaotic around you, because this person is being removed, this job is being collapsed, or that relationship doesn't work all of a sudden because you asked for something more. So your greatness, whatever, your consciousness, the whole universe will start to, boom, make space for you. But we try to hold on to the same kind of frame that we live in, and it's not going to work.
Exactly.
And I think that's a part of it. I asked for more like bigger amounts of money to show up, so I actually can be more of a contribution and actually create more. To be, because I know it works both ways. I shouldn't wait for the money, but I could also ask for more money to show up, and what will it take for that to show up, and then continue, and then from there the space opens up, so I feel more free. And all of a sudden more clients start to show up, but also I'm being invited to pay more money.
How cool is that you acknowledge that? Because if you're if you're asking for more, you gotta be willing to pay more too. Yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah. Okay, I'm asking for more money, but I'm not willing to pay. Wait a minute, the universe is not going to make you give you money, because why would we give you money? You're not willing to pay. So where is the ease with money around that? I want to have more money. I want to have, but I'm not willing to let it flow and circulate. Wait a minute. That's
also when we feel like our money flows are stopping or going the wrong way or whatever, maybe that is the start of the chaos we've been asking for, and it's just before everything is about to change. So I love that you said it's not a mental process, because nothing helps when we go up in our head and we try to figure things out and be like, trust me, I tried it many times and it never have worked. You can ask me, I know it doesn't work, so you don't have to go there. And I love that about you, that you're not even, you're like, nope. Really cool.
Yeah. And it's a really amazing gift once again to be here and actually connect with you and just say these things, because I don't have so many people around me right now, at least that I know of. Perhaps I could invite more of them, like that I can just openly say these things without that being a mental thing based in what society says. Instilled with fear and all of that, like, so then it feels all awkward, and it's like, wait a minute, and you start to make yourself wrong. And okay, I have a few people that I can, like, that showed up lately too, that are more like, okay, that's why you said that to me, so you could really know what you know. And it's like, hey, I have people. It's not only because I'm not so much in Access now. I use some of the tools now and then, and it's kind of working in a similar way of working with awareness and everything, but I don't follow Access as much. So naturally, I have other people around me too, like a different kind of people. So I'm just so grateful for those people that shows up now that are not Access people, but they are just similar to that, that more ease with things, when the shit hit the fan and all of that, you can laugh about it, and you can, even if it feels icky and painful, whatever that is, you can still be space with it and laugh with it and have fun with it. And
That is amazing. I've been asking for more playmates too, and this is, I guess, a piece to that. And yeah, because we've had these conversations a lot, like in the past, and I have really cool conversation with people. The only difference now is that other people get to listen in, and what a gift that can be to the world. And I wonder what's possible. And for everybody listening, I wonder where you are like the standout in what you're doing, and where you are like the star in your world, and what capacities you have that you haven't even begin to acknowledge and tap into, and what could be created if you start tapping into that and creating even more of a super life, right? Yeah.
And using one of those things that you said right now, I start to acknowledge that actually going on when I have a Wednesday evening class that has been open lyrical jazz, or like a beginner level / open level, and that has been so much fun. And I'm just amazed of how from the beginning how people were a little insecure, and many different levels, like people that have been moving for many years and people that can't do left and right, almost like just to show the difference. And then to see how everyone starts to move and breathe together. And I'm just amazed of, wow, I'm a part of creating this. They are great, but I invited them into a space too. I'm willing to let go or control so they can feel comfortable. Because if I would be in control, they wouldn't feel comfortable, not all of them. I'm pretty sure about that. They would, maybe some people need more control and directives, but it's a more open space and it's relaxed, and yeah, it's amazing to see. And I still have more fun, and I enjoy myself and my body and the space, and I can actually receive the admiration from people too, and I totally love that. And I just have to, because sometimes when I explain things and I turn towards the mirror and they're behind me, and I'm like, I totally love it. I totally love it. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to watch around, don't look at yourself in the mirror. But it's the space, it's the finally to relax with people. That's the huge difference. That's where the ego is enjoying itself in that total satisfaction as well too, because I'm just allowing myself to be in that space. And yeah,
I love how good you are at acknowledging yourself, because everything we acknowledge grows and expands and are grateful for. So I love that.
So I wonder how I can bring that space into other areas that I didn't think of. Right. Because sometimes when you said that, whatever you said before, I was like, what if I could invite completely new areas in that I haven't been considering?
Be that dancer in all of your life. Yeah,
and that space, and that is so, and let those people that are willing to contribute to that, whatever that will look like.
Yeah, and I wonder, that is a big piece to it too, creating your super life to be out of control. Like you were talking about not controlling things, because then we usually like shrink it down to this, because we're trying to control everything instead of like letting it be space and letting people come in and contribute. And I love that you brought that piece up, because that's huge to be able to be out of control.
Yeah, and then that's where all these people that show up, they all also, what they contribute with is that whatever they have up, whatever is up in the room is it's more simple and or it's more easy to bring them down and to verbalize them, or to put them into movement and expression. So that you invite everyone to co-create whatever, to be in that creation process too. But you are facilitating. It's like facilitating an access class. Sometimes I feel when I do this, when I teach, because I speak about what's in the room. Sometimes I talk about awkwardness when it shows up, and sometimes I joke, make fun of things that people say.
The big elephant in the room.
Yeah, but I do that, so sometimes it offends people, but that's fine too.
Yeah.
And I'm actually willing to be with the awkwardness that that comes up in me, and that comes up in the room. And then later on, it's kind of, then it wasn't even there. It has circulation and kind of opens up. And now I see that people feel more comfortable in the space because of that. And I just have to acknowledge myself again that I'm willing to be there, go there.
Yeah, and I just got the awareness, like how many people are freaking seeking that, are seeking people that are being real, that are acknowledging what is up in the room and can actually even joke about it and just be there present. Like, I know I was seeking it before I got to Access. You know, it's got to be something else than this. Why is people pretending stuff and not saying what's really going on? It just made me all confused because I like it, you know, down to the point, straightforward. And like, if we're aware of a bunch of things, why not just be aware of it and speak about it and not just hide everything underneath the carpet, you know? So what a fucking gift you are to the world, Thomas. Now I want to be in your dance class.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
It's it's a discovery. It's like you have to be, you know, you have to be curious in a way, and it's like something you discover. You have to, that's when you let go of control and you let things be different, you start to become curious. It's a curiosity and letting things be different, because when we ask for change and want something to be different, you have to let it. You have to fucking let it be different, because we are asking for so much, but sometimes we ask about things that we're not aware of, that we don't really want to be different, because we don't perceive that those agendas and hold the relationship with other people, that we are not willing to change whatever, or we live in other people's realities and all of that. But when we are willing to be curious, you know, and have more fun with it, and be willing to feel awkward, and, you know, when things comes up, that's where where things just start to shift and change. Because when we ask for change, you have to be willing to let it be different, completely different. Everything, you know, fall apart. And also the curiosity comes in there, so it goes both ways, because both ways we can make mental, like, oh, now I'm going to be curious. Oh, and then when we lock ourselves like this, with tunnel vision, being curious only in the paths that we are willing to be curious about, you know. Oh, I'm going to let it be different, but then escaping, you know. We got to be willing to leave our comfort zones, and we got to be willing to choose different, because if we're asking for big things and we're not willing to leave our comfort zone, and we're not willing to choose differently, then nothing different can show up. So many big parts in that whole conversation, really. Very cool. I love this space. I love the sweetness that pours through you. Because it is, for me, it is a sweetness somehow. Like, I didn't perceive it like that before. I wasn't able to put words on it until just now. I just realized that now. Like, when I've been watching your videos when you moved to Bali and all of that, and your creation journey and stuff like that, there is such like razor sharp awareness. At the same time, it's so sweet and soft, or maybe I should say gentle, but there is a sweetness to it, like nectar.
Oh, I'm like nectar. I'm acknowledging that too. Yes, for sure.
And that's it's like honey for the bone structure to soften up.
That can be my slogan. I'm the honey to your bone structure. Come and play.
Oiling your joints. Balm in your dry hair. But that's it's I think it's a beautiful thing with you that I would love to receive more from.
Whew. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like a lot more can show up in your life when you're willing to receive and when you're willing to increase your receiving. I've been asking a lot for that the last couple of years, and now I'm actually receiving more than I ever have in my life, and that is an amazing gift for people around you too. When people say things like that and you can actually receive them and what they have to say, it's like such a big difference. Then you put your barriers up and be like, oh, so before I would have probably been uncomfortable and be like, no, don't look at me, I'm not that great, oh my god, now I'm like, oh my god, thank you. Such a difference. I love that.
Yeah, it's but how do you receive, or how do you perceive that when maybe I'm thinking of a different thing from my own experience, but for you, when you receive others just looking at you or being around you, how do you perceive that? How does it, I don't know how to put words on it, but because I already have something that I would like to share, so that's why I'm
do that first, because I'm like,
yeah, because I'm trying to lead you into my experience.
Can we get back to me
so
now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because lately, that looking at myself in the mirror and talking about that admiration, it's really like being aware of people. It feels like they stare at you, but it like creates a soft space, like letting them get all the way, like it feels like they're invading your space at the same time. It kind of goes both ways, but it's like it feels like animals or like aliens staring at you in a way. That's what I've been perceiving lately for myself.
Maybe you have animals and aliens staring at you.
Yeah too, but it's like all of a sudden, like when I'm talking, and it feels like the people that are around me just
drawn to you like honey.
And but then I can also receive them.
How cool is that?
And then that completely being seen.
Yeah, that's the willingness to be seen.
That's different. That's new. That's a little new for me to allow that, but I enjoy it.
So how much have you stepped up in being willing to be seen, being willing to be received, being willing to...
Quite a lot. Even if I've been a dancer on stage for many years, I've been like not really been willing to be completely seen.
Right.
Because everything was like, there was a lot of pretense there going on, and there's also like a performance, and but not really be willing to receive the acknowledgement that people actually receive. The people, whatever people see in me and their gratitude for that, I haven't been willing to receive that, because it would just something pops in my head, break my heart, but it doesn't break my heart, but it opens my heart. So it's all the barriers that breaks down.
Right, yeah.
So how much have we been avoiding breaking our hearts when it's actually opening the heart?
And also breaking our barriers.
Yes, but it's actually about breaking the barriers.
Yeah. That's so cool, because that's what I got when you were talking, when you were being seen by the dancers, that you were there with no barriers and you were present and you were being you. And when you're being you with no barriers, people can't find a place in which they can judge you. So they're going to have to be there like present with you, or they're going to have to kind of leave, or like put up massive amounts of barriers. But really cool. You were being there without barriers, and what a gift.
Wow. That's really great acknowledgements here going on. And
yeah.
I know that things, will still pop up here and there in my experience. But, just acknowledging that's courage too. If we want to put words on it, like the willingness to be present in the awkwardness of yourself, your own reality, and everyone else's realities too. Until it doesn't have any say-so or any power over you. Like, we don't need to avoid it. We don't need to fight it. We just...
And you're not only being present with it, you're also being an allowance of it, which is another piece to the whole thing too. you're not judging them for having awkwardness. You're being present with them with no point of view, which is the greatest gift you can give someone, really. Being present with someone without judgment is really such a gift, because how many people have been taught that judge is a way we do here, like this is right, this is wrong. Well, if they meet someone like you and you don't judge them at all, it's like, I would stare at you too if I were coming out from that and then going into your class. Yeah.
And it's like when we are in that space, it's like both acknowledging all their judgments and all their whatever conflicted realities, as well as their greatness at the same time. But you don't make anything more significant than the other. You don't try to make them be different or try to change them. But it's actually, you let them be different. You let them arrive from a different place or show up differently. But it's like, in the beginning, it's really uncomfortable, because I've been for many years struggling with, going into their realities and taking it on and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's like acknowledging whatever is going on with them and in their body, in their reality, as well as their greatness, their being at the same time, without having to do anything with it or making any of it significant. But it might feel really uncomfortable at times, like, because you're so aware of it. I just, it's both. It's acknowledging everything going on, as well as the true essence of what they actually are.
Yeah, and that's a cool piece too, that you don't take it on just because you're aware of it, because just because you're aware about something, you don't have to do anything about it. But most of the time, we actually, when we are super aware, we actually do take it on and we try to fix it and we go into the universe. And that is really cool that we don't do that either. Like
it might still happen at times, but the key to that, or not the key, but what has assisted me more with that is that relaxation.
Right.
Be willing to relax with it, even because my mind would go into judgment of myself and what's going on and making it mine or theirs, and then it's like a ego fight between, I took something on that is not mine. But it's not even about mine or theirs. It's like, then you take ownership of everything instead of, then you try to mentally be in control instead of, and then it goes boop.
Space just ripple out. Yeah.
Because consciousness is ease. There's no hard work in consciousness.
Right. Everything is included and nothing is being judged. And that is from the creation journey, I really got to practice seeing people's infinite being more than just what they're pretending they are. So I'm like falling in love with everybody on the calls and everything, because it's like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous and you're so gorgeous and wow, you got so many capacities. So now I can really perceive that I have it more in my day-to-day life too, when I'm talking to you and all the cool people. And next week I have another highly creative person with me, and she's a real diva, and I'm not going to say more than that. You're going to have to stay tuned and see.
Oh, making it exciting for us. No, we have to follow up.
Oh, yes.
That's great. Yeah. We cannot miss that one. I could feel that. Yeah.
I must be pretty cool, because I have so many cool people around me in my life. Not around me physically that many, but in the world I have a lot of cool people. So I'm so grateful. And we've almost been going for an hour, and soon I will go and meet a lady that is here in Ubud for vacation, and we're going to trade some bars.
Yay, happy bars.
Yay, I'm excited. And you were going to go to work and dance, or what are you up to?
Yeah, I'm going to create some choreographies. So I will continue my creative process during the weekend. No. So I start today at 5, and then we go on until Sunday at 4.
Yay. Do you have anything you want to invite people to, or go to check you out? I know your website is under construction, but do you have anything?
If you go on my Facebook profile, I have these shows every Tuesday, radio shows I was invited to have my own show with a group of ladies, kind of psychics that went together and created Beacon of Light Radio. So I have my own radio show, Universal Treats. So every day is a treat. Wow! We get to receive more and more every day. And that's every Tuesday. So I announced that on my Facebook profile.
We will post the links below to your profile.
Yeah. And also, I am in a creation of, I would like to create something around, there's 2 different courses. I don't know when and how they will show up, but it's an online course about, the one is, working with your universal guide teams, so your support team. And the other one is moving more into your being and actually being that in the world, and how that can look like and how easy it actually is. But the obstacles that we might meet and the confusions that we also, meet sometimes, face during the journey.
Yeah, basically everything we've been talking about today.
Exactly, it is about that, and so that will just. I don't have any dates for that, or even links or information yet. But that's something that wanted to be created. That
sounds really excited, and I love that when you're listening to because that was the creation journey process. That was dying to get created. That wasn't something I figured out with my head, and those creations are so much fun to play with because they have.
Yes.
I mean, all creation have their own life force, but those that they're just begging to be created are so much fun to play with. So I'm so excited. Like everything sounded super excited about that. So I'm going to follow that and see what shows up. And when you get the links, we can just add them on below here so that you can just click them. It's probably going to be on my YouTube channel anyways. And what else? I'm super excited about that. Cool.
And you could also go to my website and, just have a look. It's just very simple yet, the information. It has been unclear for me how to direct my website, but if you would like a session with me, I do phone sessions and Skype sessions. And I work a lot with like embodiment and to that expression, to let your own expression flow through, with or without words or movement, but actually being more of your expression. So I found that my sessions is more about embodiment, how to be you in your body.
Nice.
And if you would like a session, there's a schedule there. You could just click and then you book the session immediately and it's all done. There's also 25% off right now if you use the code BEACON7. So it's capital B. No, it's all capital, Beacon, and then 7. And you can use that coupon and you have a 25% off.
You're so funny. You're like, no, I don't really have a web page right now, la la la.
But actually after that, I felt really like, whoa, no, just put the schedule there on the website and, those things just blah, 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 put together.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we'll definitely post the links below. And thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, stay tuned for next week. That's going to be pretty awesome too. And Thomas, thank you so much for you. I adore you.
Thank you. Oh, that was fun.
What else is fun? Bye, you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.